Hi, it's Stacy with a Q&A. Each school year, there's a question that my office gets consistently year after year. It usually comes in around 2 to 3 weeks after the school year has begun, and the question is, when should inclusion begin for my child? Or when should his speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy begin? Quite often, parents are told by their schools that they're working on schedules and trying to get things together. Um, and so parents don't really understand their rights. And sometimes a quite extended period of time goes by before the child has access to what they should have had access to from the first day of school. If you look at the services page of your child's IEP, there are dates there. So there would be a service such as language therapy. And there's a date. There's a beginning date and there's an ending date. And guaranteed, the beginning date is the very first day of school. So you need to know that you have the right, and your child has the right, to have that service begin from the very first day they're in school. The bigger one is actually the inclusion time. If you have a child who is included in a regular education classroom all the time, so pretty much 100% of their day, except maybe pulled out for a little bit of services, then from day one, you should start. Regular education shouldn't be an issue, shouldn't be a concern that you have. But if you have a child who spends part of their day, half of their day, 3/4 of their day in a special education classroom, and so their time spent with typical peers in a regular education classroom is for a shorter amount of the time. So let's say for an hour a day or 90 minutes a day for reading, or for it could just be for specials, recess, lunch, and specials. Um, Quite often, that does not begin on the first day of school, but it should. During the first few days of school is where all children are learning each other's names, the teacher's name, where they sit, where they put their things, what they do when they go out to recess, what they do when they go to their specials, what day art is on, what day music is on. And it's that during that time that the teachers just like familiarizing all the students with the schedule, with each other, how to interact. They sort of go over all the rules of being children together in a classroom with a lot of little bodies in one room, or big bodies if you're talking about the older kids. And I cannot overstress how important it is for your child to feel truly included and like they belong in that room. What you don't want is your child to end up feeling as though they're a visitor. That is not the intention of inclusion, for your child to be in a separate classroom and then just come visit for 30 minutes a day. Just think about how confusing that could be. I mean, if you took me and you put me in a calculus class for 30 minutes a day, I would be very lost. I wouldn't have friends. I wouldn't have enough opportunity and time to develop relationships. So you really need to keep that in mind as you hear from the school about when inclusion time is going to begin. Because the day it should begin is the first day of school, just like every other student in the school. So be mindful of that. Be mindful that inclusion is supposed to be meaningful, that there's supposed to be opportunities for true inclusion, not at a table over there off to the side, but should be included within the classroom setting. If you haven't yet done any real prep time for the transition back into school, it's not too late. It's never too late. So call your school, like now, and schedule a time before the first day of school to come in with your child to have them walk the halls, meet the teacher. I've actually done another video on transitioning into the new school year, so take a look at that. I also did one on something called Day in the Life, so creating a one-page document that will give some extra input, feedback to your teacher so that they can get a little bit familiar with who your child is, what they need, and how they can best serve them and work with them and include them within the classroom setting. But get your kid over to the school, have them meet the teacher, meet the ESC specialists, the people in the front office, walk around, kind of familiarize them. If you can, set up a meeting with the staff so that you can go over your day in the life with them, so that the first day of school, it's rocking and rolling and they know that you expect inclusion to begin on day one, speech language therapy to begin, occupational therapy to begin, physical therapy, counseling, all those things should begin the first week of school. If there's extenuating circumstances and there's no way possible, and you agree that it's not really possible that those things begin the first week of school, you need to stay on top of it. Ask them when it's going to begin. And hopefully, if it's not the first week of school, it's the second week of school. But you must have a voice. You need to let them know that you are involved, that you are passionately interested in what your child learns in school, and let them know that you know that what they're supposed to be getting from school should be meaningful progress. And if you feel as though they're not making meaningful progress, do not wait. It's so much easier to address issues, concerns as they come up than waiting months into the school year and becoming very unhappy and then deal with the staff that may be defensive, you're upset, and it's just not good for anybody. So as soon as you have a concern, bring it up. Stay on top of the situation. Let them know that you expect things to begin right away. And wishing everybody a really fabulous school year with amazing progress. And hopefully by the end of the year, you're going to be so much happier with the new school year as your child grows and develops, is included, and feels as though they're a genuine part of the school campus. Good luck.